Hi again, guys. Welcome back to Merseyside Publishing. So today, what I wanted to look at was a model Band 9 answer for Writing Task 2. And I wanted to explain and show exactly what you have to do to get a Band 9, what you have to do in terms of task achievement. So that's how well you answer all parts that the questions asked you. Cohesion and coherence. So how well do you link your ideas together? Do you use linking words? Do your paragraphs flow clearly together? Lexical resource. So that's the size and accuracy of your vocabulary. Do you use very simple words? Do you repeat words? Do you use the same word over and over? Or do you have quite a big range? And, do you make spelling mistakes as well? That's something that comes into it. So how accurate are you with your spelling as well? Grammatical range and accuracy. So do you have, different types of sentences? Do you use complex, compound, simple sentences? Do you have a variety of tenses? Or are you just sticking to using very simple tenses? Try to have a variety. So use conditional tenses, past perfect maybe, higher level constructions. And if you have variety, this is how you're going to score band 8 and above, band 9. Okay, so I've tried to give it a little color code here, just so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about in my writing and how what I've used specifically applies to the marking criteria. So these are the 4 things that your examiners are looking for. So if you are able to do all 4 of these things, then you're able to write really effectively. So my first sentence, I've underlined it, I've highlighted it in blue. So I'm saying this really helps for task achievement here. So basically, you're always in your first sentence going to want to rephrase the question back. So I've done that here. I've said the question's about the criminal justice system. So I've tried to kind of use words that aren't in the question. So I've said criminal justice system, and this is some vocabulary that I don't think is mentioned in the question. But when you know what the question's about, so in this case, it's about crime and punishment. I know that I have lots of different words about crime and punishment that I can use. So I've said the criminal justice system in most Western countries involves the process whereby a judge determines the sentence based on their view of the severity of the crime. And that basically is very band 9 phrase because I've used words that aren't in the question, but I've kind of summarized the debate. So I've made it clear what I'm going to talk about. In terms of cohesion and coherence, we have loads of linking words, which you need to use if you want to score the higher bands. So, however, therefore, principally, for instance, additionally, all these different ways of introducing a point and linking it to the point before it. So you want your essay to kind of just flow very naturally. You don't want it to be stop, start. You want there to be a clear reason for every one of your points. So principally, firstly, you could also say to begin, just different ways of introducing points. And then you can say additionally, and then you want some counter argument points as well, because this is a balanced argument. You have to discuss both your views and then give your own opinion. So on the flip side, or on the other hand, alternatively, then for instance, it can be good to, set a point up if you want to give some more detail about a point. Therefore, And then your last one, you can say to conclude. And, these aren't insanely hard to remember, but if you use them correctly in your essays, that's a really easy way of, impressing the examiner and scoring highly for CC, or cohesion and coherence. And, if you do well in all 4 of these sections, then you're going to do really, really well for your overall mark. And also I've said, highlighted in yellow is the grammatical range and accuracy, what I've done well in terms of grammar. So you can see I've used a present continuous phrase, so having fixed sentences. And, it's very easy to forget to use different tenses, but, you're not writing a normal, ordinary piece of writing that's going to be read by actual people. You're writing something for an examiner to impress the examiner. So sometimes when you're writing, you don't naturally get in all these different tenses. So you kind of have to find a way to work them in. So just be aware of the fact that you get more marks if you use more tenses. So always just think of ways where you can just get in other tenses, basically, even in situations where you think might be a little bit, you don't need another tense. But as long as you have a good sense of variety, so as long as you have 3, 4, 2, 3, just a variety of tenses, then you're gonna score more. You're gonna score highly for GRA, or grammatical range and accuracy. So we have present continuous there. We have kind of some modal verbs as well, like may, commit, as well. People would say, these whole different kind of varieties to our grammar. We have conditional tense there, could be. And then aside from grammar, you have lexical resource. So obviously your vocabulary, that comes from, years of language learning. That's something you kind of just have to build up over time. But there are definitely some standout phrases that this model answer has that let it score band 9. So, bias, something maybe a non-native speaker might not know. Case by case, that's quite a fluent turn of phrase. If you do something on a case by case basis, it basically means you look at each individual case separately. Catch all, that basically means kind of all encompassing, something that deals with all aspects of something. Catch all style of sentencing is one that kind of deals with all parts of the sentencing. Mitigating circumstances. So you've got these kind of higher level phrases that stand out to examiners. And if you do what I did before and you look at what the question is about, and it's about the justice system and fixed punishments and crime. So try draw on vocabulary about crime and punishment. So that's why I've used criminal justice system here. Severity of the crime determines the sentence. Judge, I don't think that was, judge wasn't even mentioned in the question. So I think you just always want to be bringing in these words that aren't in the question. Try to not just copy the words that are used in the question. Use a good variety, use synonyms. Don't repeat the same word over and over again. I've said fixed punishments here, and I could have said fixed punishments again, but I've just changed it to fixed sentences, because you just always want to be showing off how many different words you know. And then in terms of task achievement in the last paragraph here, in your conclusion, you kind of have license to give your opinion. So whereas in supporting paragraph 1 and supporting paragraph 2, you can be quite, general. You're considering the whole balanced argument. Well, in your conclusion, you can really give your opinion. So you can say, I personally feel like it would be a corruption of the justice system. And, you've already argued all your points. So now just give your opinion. And then you can say, crimes are individual and completely vary in terms of severity, and therefore it makes sense to evaluate each of them separately. So I've definitely given my overall opinion there. I've been very to the point. I've been quite brutal. I've just said it, whereas before I've said there is also the argument that there could be mitigating circumstances. Now I'm saying crimes are individual and completely vary. So I'm saying things definitely now in my conclusion. And I think that's a really good way of answering these opinion related questions. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, or if you want to send me some of your writing task 2 responses, then I will correct them for you, tell you what you did well, tell you what you did not so well. But yeah, hopefully you guys watch the next live stream, because we'll be going over more answers and basically just preparing you guys for your writing exam and showing you how you can achieve the highest bands. So thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next live stream.